Hey Leo, this one's for you. This is Tarot Lumination. That's you, Leo. This is your general report for December 2017. We're just going to do the routine that we do. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. And you can do your cross watching too for other people, significant others in your life, okay? This is not a relationship reading, it's just broad energy. And you kind of know the theme here with Tarot Illumination. It's mostly about the love, it's about the flow of the healing power of love, okay? How to get that to happen in your life. Remember, it's just like turning on the faucet, and that's a decision. Let's have a look. Cards were already well shuffled in advance, but I like to go to the very last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals, none of it. Just keeping it really, really simple, and you can reinterpret however you want, okay? Tarot Illumination is not a fortune teller. You're going to make your own decisions. So here we go. All right, let's see what's going on. All right, Leo. Bammo. All right. So, Leo, you might want to, now I'm thinking about it, you might want to watch the North Node Leo journey videos. There's a whole playlist in there about the Leo North Node journey. So please help yourself. It's very, very important for you over this next year. Please make the best of it. Also, there is, Jupiter and Scorpio, that thing going on right now. So that's happening in your astrological fourth house of home, family, security, stability, foundations, safety, security. And big shifts are going to happen. Transformations are going to happen. What can I tell you? No turning back. Now we've already cut. Let's just do the reading, okay? This would be the heart energy, the core of you. It might not have any language or words. It's just the pulsing heart of you who wants to be you. This is legacy energy, history, baggage, the past, whatever you want to call it. This would be the ever-present now as you move through this thing that we call December, this time period. And we're always in the now, even though there's the past and even though there's the future. When we are perceiving what we call the future, we're making decisions or not. Which affect how our life unfolds, call it our destiny. So this is the energy of decisions moving forward into the great unknown, okay? Always from the perspective of now, even though you might be dwelling in the past or prospecting the future. So making these decisions, what's the most loving way to make these decisions in the way that works for you so that you are loving yourself, okay? Loving yourself first because that's what's best for everybody else, okay? This is not a relationship reading, it's just broad energy, okay? And so grasping the idea of making decisions, this is what you would attract. If you think that life, is out there and it happens to you and then you have to react, then this might feel more like fate. This would be the what if, like making the decisions here. What if I mess up? Making the decision here, what if it all works out? And then where does it take us all? Okay, what's the momentum and the flow? Now, can you see the heart here? I'm trying to make it a heart. I hope you can see that. I'm going to try and make it as heart-like as I can. And that's you pulsing doop, 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 doop in the middle. All right. Under here, we're going to look at the circumstantial energy. Think of it as the weather. You're going to make the best of it. Okay, Leo, like everybody does. So the Four of Cups. I've lost track about how many times this Four of Cups has turned up in so many different readings, so many different situations for so many people. I don't know why. I think perhaps it's burnout. My feeling is that because the way the planets have been for the last couple of years, and we're in a very, very tight vortex right now, coming into December and through December, huge shifts happening right now. And you might already be exhausted just from what you've already had to endure. And yet we still have everything that's just happened in November and what's going to happen in December and January. Big changes. And so the circumstantial energy around you might feel as though like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can handle it anymore. It's just like, I did the best I could. They did the best they could. Everything is about as okay as it could have ever have been. It just could have been better, and woe is me, and like, how did I mess up? Where did I mess up? Where am I messing up? Because things just don't feel quite right. And that's circumstantial. But always remember, with this little card, energy flows where attention goes. So it might be a really good chance for a wake-up call through December, because that Sagittarius energy, that big vortex, is very, very, let's say, supportive towards you. So it could be really, really good chance for you to come back into alignment with yourself, and get back to focusing on what really, really counts, okay, for you. What counts for you, Leo, not for them, not for the job, the environment, the relationships, what's for you. So let's have a look. Look at the core here. What's going on? Okay. New starts, new beginnings. Maybe you're starting to see your whole life, when you're getting a glimpse of, like, there's a whole lot going on that's just not working anymore. And I'm sick of it and I'm fed up with it. And you can see it through evidence in your environment, and it hurts. Okay. It hurts. Okay. And you might be just at that, like, pivotal point where these planets are just squeezing so much pressure on you to change and avert your attention to what really, really works, which is always the answer, which is always love. The cup of love that is always available to you. The energy of heaven is always there. You just have to be willing and ready and able to open the faucet, let it flow. And so you might be, your pulse, like deep in your deepest subconscious, your heart is saying, wow, this is an opportunity here for new starts, new beginnings in ways that actually work. Tangible evidence that actually work for you, Leo, as opposed to what works for, getting along or fitting in, okay? What works for you, for the heart and soul of Leo. Factual, tangible evidence. Because that's what your heart wants. And you have the full right to want that and have that and need that and get that and deserve that. Okay? What are you bringing in with you? At least, so with the star energy here, you might be feeling is a bit like, well, maybe you're not sure exactly how to put any of this in words. It might be just very, very deep in your, let's say, subconscious, and somehow or other, you can feel it, especially coming up through December. There's going to be this massive Mercury retrograde, which is going to affect everybody. But it's a chance for all of us to do this action, replay, rewind thing with our lives in some aspect or another. And for you, it might be happening either, for example, with the Jupiter Scorpio thing in your 4th house, the foundations of your life, home and family, all of that. It might be happening in your 5th house, with the Sagittarius, the Sagittarius energy, all about new life, new business, new opportunities, new ways to create and express yourself. Except deep at the core here, you might not even know that in terms of language, in terms of yourself. In other words, it might not even be happening in your waking consciousness right now. It just might be bubbling under, but somehow or other, with the star here, that you are being guided and you are being protected and moving in the right direction, even though there might be no, waking conscious awareness of all of this stuff. Something in your deepest gut is taking you on the right path for the right reasons, and you are allowing that to happen. This is very symbolic of everything actually working out beautifully, even though it might not make sense at the time. In other words, just trusting. Well, actually knowing. Okay, let's take it back from knowing. Let's just say it's about hoping and wishing and believing and understanding and getting that feeling. You might not know it in your full waking consciousness, but it's happening, and it's happening right now. And you're bringing that in with you into December, like with that sense of hope, because you probably are sensing in your body that this big Sagittarius cluster is really going to be very beneficial for you. And there's going to be big changes coming up anyway, and there's no way out of it, starting 2018 for sure. So what about now? Okay, so right now, in the moment, I feel this kind of goes in alignment with what I was talking about earlier here, where there might be not a lot of full conscious, coherent awareness of what's actually going on, or the hows and the whys, or the details, because you might just be emotionally caught up in what coulda, woulda, shoulda, and having lost focus. But deep down, everything is where it should be, and you are on path, and you are being guided. Even though it might feel as though you're kind of going blind, it's there and it's happening. Your beating heart wants that. But in the present moment, it's it's almost like you're trying to figure it out through, you know, let's say evidence. And that's good and that's wholesome. It's like the desire to have evidence. I want to see how this works. I want this to happen. I know that I deserve this. I'm not exactly sure how to make this happen or when or with who it's all going to happen, but I know it has to happen. And there is a determination here. There is an innocent determination to find out what works, figure it out, and then make it happen. Okay, so that's good. That's good for like long-term momentum, especially when it comes, to translating it into the three-dimensional aspects of your life of what actually works. You know, getting these things sorted out with the foundations of your life, your people, your family, your home, your love life, romance, business, creativity, all of those things that are going to be changing. And of course, the Leo North Node. Did we mention that earlier? You might want to watch those videos because there's so much pressure on you, Leo, to be the ultimate Leo that you've never been before. Taking Leo to the max. And so you might be realizing that, oh my gosh, there's still so much to learn because Leo Mark 1 is Leo Mark 1, but it's kind of obsolete now and redundant. We have to do the full upgrades to Leo Mark 2. And you're deep in the process here right now already because it's already started. So making the decisions in the now, what's going on? Okay, there might be a very stark realization that, let's see, with the nine of swords here, I mean, you can see it pretty close up. It's a card of anguish, depression, fear. Um, it might be like my first feeling that I got from this was that um, the fear of making the bold decisions that need to happen. Okay, this is my feeling. This card is all about decisions, and there might be the feeling like I'm really scared to make these decisions that I know that have to be made on given the evidence of the way life in the world is unfolding around me, and I'm being guided to make these decisions, even though they might be very stressful and cause a lot of anxiety. But that's good to know. It's very good that this is coming to the surface. You got to reveal it to heal it, and so if you're coming into this vortex through, let's say, December, where you're realizing there's no going back. I'm going to have to make decisions that work. It has to happen because I'm sick of this. This is no longer healthy or appropriate. I'm over it. It's done. I'm sick of it. I want to move on, but you might be still stuck in the mud here. And the circumstantial energy, it's just like, like a car that just went into a roadside ditch because you weren't paying attention. You were texting and then it kind of slipped off and you went into the mud and like, oh man, what am I going to do now? So having to make decisions in that kind of environment is like awkward because it makes you realize, oh my gosh, I got into this situation myself. Everything that I'm trying to figure out that brought this on could very well have been my own undoing without knowing that you're undoing yourself. And so you realize, oh, I wouldn't have fallen in that ditch if I wasn't texting. Duh. And so, but you have to fix it anyway. So now you got to dig yourself out of the mud, means going back into discovering everything about what you did, how you did it, why you did it, when you did it, who you did it with, where you did it, if you did it, if it was someone else who did it to you, about what went wrong. And those are the things that have to be understood. Like with this Mercury retrograde period, a lot of opportunity for action, rewind, replay. So don't be scared of this. Don't be scared of the Nine of Pentacles here, Nine of Swords here. Treat it as a way to, like a realization, I've got to figure this out. Sorry, I was a little bit dumb about some things and I'm doing my best, I want the best. I know it. I deserve it. I know I'm being guided in the right way, in the right places, the right time for the right reasons. But, oh man, it's tough making these decisions, but you got to do it. So how are you going to do it in a way that's most loving? Loving for you, loving you first, so that these new opportunities can unfold, so you can get back on track again and really come into the Leo Mark II and really come into your own like being in ways that you've never done before. Okay, It's Queen of Cups. It's award yourself. It's like treating yourself. Like you might not be used to doing it, Leo. Leo, you really like to be out there and engaged and like immersed in life. You know, the 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 excitement of life where you feel as though you're being appreciated and you're getting the chance to radiate all your divine energy, and then you get the reception and the applause in return, and that's wonderful. But sometimes all the answers lie deep within, very, very deep within. And that can be like a very annoying for a Leo because you like to be out there. The whole idea of being like this kind of serene, self-loving, self-examining, a bit of navel gazing, realizing, oh my gosh, I've got work to do on myself type of energy. That's ugh for Leo. It's just like ugh. But if you understand and accept that this is a really good opportunity to learn how to do that, learn how to love oneself more than before, and yeah, treat it as a puzzle with the Queen of Cups energy. This to me represents having so much abundance that it's almost like abundance of love. Literally the cup of love, healing power of love in a container. Like you own it, like you have that. You have the capacity, you have the ability to love and be loved much more than you know. It's just that you may not have ever really like tapped into it before in such a way that you can have a chance to do now. So yeah, it becomes a puzzle, but don't be scared. Admit that there's a degree of naivety and innocence here. The intentions are good. You are guided and protected. And yeah, you might have, got yourself into trouble in the first place, and it's time to get out of it. And the way to do that is love you first, even if you don't understand it all yet. It doesn't matter. You've got the love, it's there. It's just about making very bold, brave decisions to do what works as opposed to what doesn't work. Try something else, try what works. Do something bold and brave. Trust the intuition, trust the guidance. Give up trying to live the role, play the part, and fit in. Do what works for you. Love you first, and just, go for it. And then see what happens. Because there's so much here. It's just like, it's like having almost like a fountain, almost like a large faucet, like a big hose, like a lawn hose, like a sprinkler hose. You spray it and the love comes out like a beautiful spray, It's just that has to happen. You have to make the decision to do that. Okay? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to, just close your eyes and pull the trigger. And then see what happens when you allow the healing power of love to flow for real, okay? What does that take you? Bam-o. Bam-o. It sets the cycle into action so that you can activate these new beginnings, these new starts, this new way of being, Leo Mark II, and allow it to unfold. You don't have to know like the script in advance. Okay, Leo, let's pretend like, you're the actor, the stage, you're the performer, you're out there, you're living out your role very dynamically, very courageously, very nobly. And let's say for some time you've just been going according to the script. And you're realizing like, wait a minute, it's time for you to write your own script. You don't have to just, hand work from the screenplay that was handed to you. It's time for you to, take charge and own it. And that means, yeah, it's a bit scary, it's a bit risky, but it's also very, very exciting because you're living your own life, living your own ups, living your own downs, and allowing your own fate, your own destiny to unfold by making these bold, brave decisions to love you first. And as opposed to making decisions that are always going to end up default, fail, default, fail, default, fail, default, fail, over and over again. That's over. That's done. That's redundant. Starting again, this new way, looking at the hard evidence, treating it as truth and reality, and then making decisions accordingly. It can open up a new world where you can, just let it happen. Let it roll. Allow the roller coaster to happen. Allow yourself to be swept along with the excitement of making your own decisions. Making not just your own decisions, but making, what I'm trying to say is making the decision to get the energy to flow, to get the healing power of love to flow for you, so that it's not all blocked up and backed up and you're just watching the same movie over and over again. No, This is allowing everything to flow openly, the new drama, the new excitement, and improv. It's almost like you can like go improv now. Like, whoa, wow, you're calling out your lines as you go along, and then it's just like very, very exciting. Okay, so this is the energy of what if. Like, what if you keep making poor decisions based on fear and anxiety? What if you make decisions based on the healing power of love, loving you first? Bam-o! You see, judgment. With the judgment here, it's just like it's like it's like pressing a button. It's just only you don't have to wait for anyone else's permission. It's like it's all the time. It's always been there. The green button to start all over again. It just happens. I mean, I'm just getting off on the color here. It's a very subtle, beautiful green. And this is very strongly infused with the energy of heaven here. Of course, you can see that. But of course, it's a bit scary because there's this nakedness. There's this realization that you're just another human being like the rest of us, Leo, even in your own magnificence. But now you have the right and the duty and the obligation to press the green button. Well, this one's the yellow button. Beep, 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 beep. I'm starting over. Thank you very much. And it doesn't matter what happened in the past anymore, because you're not going to function that way anymore. You're going to admit the naivety and the innocence of the past, move on to a new beginning, new start, new future, press the big button, and guess what happens? You make these decisions, healthy decisions, based on, because you know now you're getting an awakening about a lot of stuff that doesn't work and how you've made so many erroneous decisions, but now's the chance to make good ones. This is what happens. You get like the angels look at you and they come down and say, you know what, Leo? Finally, you get it. You give yourself permission to love yourself first, and that gives you redemption. We forgive you. Others forgive you. You can forgive others and move on. So you're clear. You're free to go, man. You're free to go. Go improv. Go live. Just live it out. No more role playing. You don't have to live by an ancient script anymore. You can start over. You've got full permission. Where does it take us? Yeah. Man, there's a lot of big cards here for you, Leo. It gives you like the opportunity where you can like say, seriously, people? Like if you start talking to your angels, if you start talking and really make really, really good close relationships with your angelic divine beings that exist in your life, they are there for you. We can talk about that another time if you want. It really gives you a chance to realize, wow, it really is all about the decisions to love me first, where I don't have to live in ancient redundant shadow behaviors. I can incorporate all the cool new stuff that I'm learning and how to do that. And I can still like celebrate my awesome like movie part one and the shadow aspects, like a battle scarred warrior, the battle scarred Leo. Like I lived through that, man. I lived through that. I'm a Leo. That's who I am. That's what I do. And I am the star of my own movie now, but this is the new epic. It's number 2. And it's better than ever because all the worst things were figured out. Yeah, we got some big, tough challenges coming up, but we can handle it because you are empowered. You are empowering yourself and you are taking charge. You are taking control. You're putting yourself in the lead position. You're putting yourself in the leading role of your life. Thank you very much. All right, Leo, all the best. Bye-bye. You know what to do. Bye.